Yo guys, I've got a spark which I'm going to use to ignite the fire for a brand new episode of the Skylanders Soul Seekers series here in the channel. We are going to be discovering the air realm so that now we can take this ugly Imaginator off the portal and replace it instead with the might of airstrike to open the very same realm we just discovered. Now here we go with the might of the greatest brawler in this game, hands down. I mean, Graveclobber is also quite fierce competition, but as for the other two, Crash Bandicoot and Kingpin, it's easy to see the fact that Airstrike of the, non-villain representatives is the brawler that kind of stands out amongst the rest. He is the anomaly. Usually brawlers in this game, on average, aren't the finest of creatures, but Airstrike, say, he would prove that statement wrong. He'd be one of the only to do so, but he would prove it all the same. Now, unfortunately, with Jetpack right here, not only does this character quite literally suck, but we cannot skip over his unnecessary deep stew. But this is what the plan is for the entirety of this episode. Not only completing the air sensei round we see before you, but we're also going to be tackling the dark round as soon as we are done here. So without further ado, we're going to stop that dial. Completely wrong timing altogether. Man. Unless a man right now would be embarrassed, but not me. I'm a greater man, so I'm definitely not embarrassed. Absolutely not. Saying all this right now is just proof of how unembarrassed I am. So here we go. Let's stop that dial. Da, da, da. And this time it was a whole lot more successful now, wasn't it? But to say, when it comes to my commentary right now, it's a little repetitive. I'm only just waking up still, and yet here I am, probably speaking way too loud because my headset is drowning out my voice in its entirety. So I'm saying stuff, and I myself am not even entirely sure what I'm saying and how loudly I'm saying it. It's an interesting little scenario, this commentary with my wireless headset on right now. The noise cancelling is great, except for when you actually want to hear things around you. But hey, at least now that means I can remain immersed in a video game whenever I want to have this headset on. Because I came from playing Last of Us Factions straight into this game, and I must admit, I am horrendous at Last of Us Factions. But what do you expect from this channel of all things? After all, my gameplay is notorious for just how bad it is. But luckily, much like Skylanders, I never claimed to be any good at Last of Us Factions. So me being bad at it really should come as a surprise, because I never claimed to be good at it. But that being said, none, let's preview Wildstorm. In the next episode, I would love to say I'm tackling the Cursed Tiki Temple, which has now been unlocked from the might of seeking out Wildstorm Soul. But that's not what we're going to be doing next episode, because instead next episode is going to be a special one where we're going to be celebrating for 12 days of Skylands. So yes, we're going to have a very special episode with a very special setup. Just everything about it is going to ooze specialness. And it's basically going to make every other episode, by comparison, not special. You hear that, stupid 11th episode? You're not special. Nobody cares about you, stupid 11th episode. Which is this that you're watching right now. This is the 11th episode, the non-special. The only thing special about this episode is that I get to fall for a very, very long time. Okay, and now I get to fall for a very, very long time, take two. Because obviously doing it the first time wasn't good enough.
I have been falling for 30 minutes!
Let's not fall off again this time. It's weird how it spawns you right on the very edge. Like, it's basically just asking you to fall off a second time. But that's not going to stop us from, as Airstrike put it, pulverizing our enemies. Anyway, let's platform with some sort of actual skill. After all, I'm an air Skylander, so I need to be talented in the air, which involves platforming skill. You know, if I'm not good at platforming, then what kind of an air Skylander am I? Let's jump over here, let's jump over there, we'll be jumping over everywhere, yo. And we're going to be doing just as he said, not as she said, as he said. So let's be opening up the chest right now. But yeah, this episode is definitely going to have a title to have something to do with falling. After all, so far, 50% of the runtime of this episode has been me falling off the edge. Die, 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 thank you! And they even left behind some cheese as a surprise from our bird due to one of the upgrades that we have garnered with airstrikes. So that surprise, nice chunk of cheese. Don't mind if we do, but it wasn't most nutritious cheese. Only heal us for 10. Not that we even needed any healing, because we're too busy defeating these guys before they have any sort of chance or hope at hitting us. I almost feel sorry. We are really just teasing these fellas. We're giving them false hope. We're making them think that, oh, they can approach us with ease. Ha! Nope. Just take out everything around us. We're toying with our prey, you know. In other words, we're we're playing with our food before we gobble it up. Oh yeah, now I get to gobble it all satisfactory. Like, this is such obliteration right now. Or as Airstrike puts it, pulverization. Whatever this is, I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, let's draw on these folks because I want to make sure that they are defeated. If they get launched off the edge, I'm not sure if they are classed as defeated or whatnot. We need to make sure these enemies are defeated in order for the enemy goal to be achieved. One thing that, you know, if we get through this level perfectly and miss for enemy goal, it is something that is going to be of much disappointment to me. So yes, I'd rather not disappoint myself. Disappointment is not a very satisfactory emotion. Something that I'm hoping I don't feel during Inside Out 2. You know, I'm hoping to feel several emotions. I mean, at the end of the day, the film is about emotions, so I'm expecting to feel emotions. The one emotion I do not want to be feeling is disappointment. That is the only thing I do not want to feel in Inside Out 2. Like, for trailer advertisers, the fact of you are going to feel everything in this film. This is going to be an everything film that's going to make you have all of the feels. Well, I hope that when it says everything, it doesn't actually mean everything. I'm hoping it excludes disappointment. I really love not Last of Us, sorry. I really love the first Inside Out. I don't want the second one to disappoint me, which is why I brought up Last of Us, because Last of Us Part 1, I adore it, I love it so much. Last of Us Part 2, it's still a game I thoroughly enjoy. I think it's a good game. Well, I wouldn't say I enjoy it. The whole point of the game is that you're supposed to hate playing through it. You know, it's supposed to make you hate the actions that you are partaking in because they are so needless. And yes, that is exactly what makes the game good. It has a lot of nuance and some really deep and compelling themes. However, I do hate certain things they do, especially character choices they make. I shouldn't really be afraid about spoiling it. I mean, at the end of the day, the game is getting a remaster, which also spoils the plot, because the game is now old enough to where people know all the spoilers about the game. So, if a trailer spoils the game, I suppose I can too, because I am not a large fan of Joel's death. I don't like how early it is in the game, and I also don't like the manner in which it takes place. Given that I have played the first game hundreds of times, I'd imagine a character like Joel going out in a blaze of glory, not to a freaking golf club. Yeah, as Last of Us Part 2 is the most disappointing golf simulator of all time. It's a good game, but it's a really bad golf simulator. Okay, here we go, let's take them all out. Yes, that's it. Come to me, my prey. And here's the thing, calling it prey is a very appropriate term because Airstrike's bird definitely seems like a bird of prey. Like, seriously, it looks like it's top of its food chain. It looks like an eagle to me. Eagles are the top of their respective food chains. Okay, let's take out these fools. But obviously, we are fighting with a female eagle. You know, it lays eggs. I've never known a male to do that, unless obviously it's a seahorse. Because seahorse is the only species where the male gives birth. But, you know, last time I checked, a seahorse does not look like that. Okay, take him out. Stop hitting me! It's rude! So rude. Okay, it's okay when I'm killing them, but when they're killing me, that's a big no-no. Have we not established this already? Okay, this guy's got to go. Take him out! Oh, and give me some food from that egg. Oh, or if it give me treasure, I suppose that's also okay. I suppose. Die, 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 die. Everything just die on me. Unfortunately, I cannot level up midway through combat here to get a very convenient buff to my health bar. Oh, but I can get some cheese in my hand. That is convenient. Not that it healed me for much, but you know what? That could be different between victory and defeat. We'll just have to wait and see now, won't we? Die, die. Thank you. Ask you shall receive, I suppose. Okay, let's take these fellas out. Yeah, baby. Die. Thank you. Once again, ask you shall receive. This is very much the joy of the Christmas season. You know, in Christmas you ask for things, not necessarily expect things, but you know, you're more likely to receive something if you've actually asked for it in the first place. After all, if you haven't asked for it, how are people supposed to know that you wish to receive it? Anyway, let's get out of here. You know, I asked for plenty of enemies to defeat in order to accomplish the enemy goal. I suppose I got exactly what I asked for. Received after having asked it, mind you. So let's get blowing this air away. This air is just so spectacular that it literally blows me away. And I'm not going to apologise for that pun, even though it was a terrible, terrible one, and it really does demand an apology. But I'm too stubborn to give it. So here we are with several balloons. We really got to get this pollution out of here because we really aren't dealing with a problem for pollution here. You know, all we're doing is blowing it to somewhere else. make it someone else's problem. I mean, at the end of the day, that is the psychology of sweeping. At the end of the day, when people sweep, they don't actually sweep to throw stuff away. They sweep it so then they can sweep it in one location, hidden somewhere else for somebody else to deal with. That's what sweeping is truly about. Yes, give me the money! So that is a chest added to vault for all of the collectibles we discovered throughout this level. So now what we've got to do is hope that we are successful on all of the other objectives, such as the enemy goal and all areas discovered. Though not discovering all areas in this level is quite difficult, because there's not exactly very hidden areas along the way now, is there? It's the enemy goal that's tough, because it's actually quite a tight objective. The amount of enemies available in the level and the amount of enemies required for the enemy goal are two numbers very close to one another, is what I mean by it being a very tight objective. And when we push enemies off the edge, as I said earlier, I'm not sure they count towards the enemy goal. We're about to find out if we were successful or not. At the end of the day, if I do have to come through this realm the second time, it's not the end of the world, because of all of the elemental realms in this game, this is definitely one of the better ones. It's just got clean, simple, fun level design that makes it not an absolute pain to traverse, unlike most of the other elemental realms in this game. Now we just have annoying light elemental NPCs, and instead we have Jetpack, who might be... He might suck, is what I'm trying to say. Jetpack might literally suck, but at least he's not lame and annoying. He just sucks. Nothing else, nothing more, nothing less. Just perfect on that spot suckage. That's Jetpack for you. That sums him up perfectly. The character who literally sucks. That being said and done, I'm going to move on from talking about sucking and instead move along to the Dark Sensei round, which has been discovered for the first time. And now that we've discovered it, we can actually utilise the soul that we seeked out in the previous episode, that belonging to Starcast. The Star of our cast, if you will. I'm just kind of hoping that there's not going to be a fault with this star cast. Once again, not going to apologise for any of these puns. These puns, you kind of knew what you were getting into clicking onto this video. You knew. You knew what you were getting in for. Because these puns, much like Jetpack and the fact that he literally always sucks, you know, nothing more, nothing less. My puns, they're always terrible, and that's the standard. They're never any better, they're never any good, but they're never any worse than that. I don't know how you get worse than terrible, but trust me, there is worse than terrible when it comes to puns. So at least mine are just terrible and nothing more, or nothing less. Yeah, that's great, Max. Why do some of these elemental realms have unskippable cutscenes? I really want to press best button in the game right now. Like, this triangle button is really calling my name, but the game said no. So unfortunately there's not more else I can do about it. But I can at least get myself a bit of a selfie going right here, with nothing but that mighty shoulder pad. That was my favourite shoulder pad in the entire game, so we're just going to take a selfie of that. The greatest selfie of all time, to call back to one of the previous episodes of the series. Now, give me the mighty ball of luminance. And there's also a puzzle back here. Let's complete the puzzle. Complete the puzzle sounds like a good plan to me. I like that plan. Okay, we got to get these orbs out of here. Sweet! We now have the water. I needed the water too. Okay. I'm trying really hard to complete this puzzle, but I'm not being very successful so far, am I? Okay, at least those have all been taken out, but we don't want to complete it just yet. We want to unite all of these gemmy thingamabobs, which I'm not making a good job of, to be perfectly honest. Never mind! Right, as I was saying that too. So what we've got to do now is head all the way back to from where we came, or the place from which we came, when we put out the fires the first time. Boom, got that sorted. Wow, it is barely just low enough to the ground to where the orb can't go flying off the face of the Skylanders. That is almost good level design. Anyway, let's get this guy into the place where it needs to be, which is not right here. Never mind, I guess it can fall off the face of the Skylanders. But it just very conveniently respawns for us. Oh, get there quickly. Quickly! Well, we got in there. The only problem was that Starcast did not. Dang it! Frickin' orb. You couldn't just stay still for 2 seconds, could you? You had to act like an orb and roll. Frickin' spears. Who do they think they are rolling about like that? Acting like they own the place. Now stop! Stop rolling! There we go, it did as I asked. What a good little orb, what a good little orb indeed. Anyway, can I easily get to the other side of it? Yes, I can, because we got to make sure we push it to the right after this thing finishes spinning round. Making its way slowly around. Why does it have to be so slow? Stop being so slow. You're annoying me with how slow you're being. Stop being so slow. Am I asking too much? Clearly I'm asking too much. So why do I keep asking for it, even though I know I'm asking too much? Because I felt like it. Anyway, that's a whole load of ninja stars right there. And I'm just going to fall through the smallest gap imaginable. Only I could find a way to fall through that gap. But we did that entire puzzle just for some money. I am not very familiar with this RAM. I have no idea where all the collectibles are. And I think wasting my time with that shows it. So let's put you all the way over here. Ooh, a bumper. Yeah, let's get it bumped. So let's push this back here as well. Sweet. Now, where are enemies so I can roll them over? Oh, there we go. We have found all the enemies. Let's roll them over. But why do we have, like, darkified Mystic Vault enemies? Or Vault of the Ancients. That's the supercharged level. Like, it's for enemies from that vault, just darkified. I don't know why the game felt the need to include them in the dark round, but here we are. Die. Thank you. Okay, there goes the energy spell. Now we really got to take down the projectile dudes because they're annoying me. Which is basically all of them. Every single one of them have projectiles, but luckily, so do I.
Darkness there.
Ooh, that's a deep, dark, intimidating voice from the might of Starcast over here. Anyway, we're not going to unlock that because I'm feeling like a rebel. Unless, can we see behind it? See what it's got in store? We can, it's a treasure chest. Let's open it without further ado. Yes, give me the mic, that there treasure chest. Anyway, let's push this all the way to the right because I have a feeling that there's something cool to the right. Plus, we saw it earlier, so it's kind of abundantly obvious that there's going to be something to the right. Okay, what we need now is yet another key apparently, but luckily for us there's one hidden right back here. It's not particularly well hidden, which is why we were able to find with such ease for a second treasure chest. Wow, and I was saying that the collectibles in the air round were easy to discover, but this takes it to a whole nother level. No wonder why I don't have any need to remember where the collectibles are. You can kind of just find them on accident as you go through here. Okay, here comes the puzzle, because it's puzzling time. Forget about morbing time, it's puzzling time instead. The far superior meme. Okay, let's get that into place and pop up here for the Mind Control Radio, which I'm hoping not to fail this time. Bada bing, bada boom! Yep, we're failure free, that's what we're talking about. Not that I'm totally embarrassed about what happened the last time, definitely not. So let's take him out. Yes, there we go. See you fellas, and I wouldn't want to be you, because you know, you're kinda a bit dead right now, and I prefer being not dead. And here we are, let's ricochet ourselves all the way over here. I love how much momentum you get carried forward from this jump attack right here. It's one of the few things about Starcast I like the most because it makes it so fast-paced. Now die, fellas! Yeah, this realm has a very unique mix of enemies, in the fact that there's enemies from Vault of the Ancients, there's enemies from Land of the Undead. What it is about these enemies in particular that speaks dark to developers, I'm not yet sure about, but you know, we're just gonna deal with the enemies as they come. And here we go, let's get down here, launch some stars along the way, because I love the fact that that attack can be done in mid-air no matter how high you are in elevation. Anyway, this is turning very inefficient right now, so let's use the way more efficient attacks instead. That's a far superior plan on my behalf. Are they dead yet? Or they're about to be. There you go, now that's more like it. Let's pop up here and discover ourselves a new soul having been seeked out for Skylanders for the might of Hoodsicle, the superior dark character in every conceivable way. I mean, seriously, look at that. That is pretty badass. It's what makes Hoodsicle the single greatest dark Skylander of all time. It's a shame, though, that the single greatest dark Skylander of all time also has to possess one of the worst variants out there. Like, seriously, what did Dark do to deserve this? Besides, generally, think it's an element. It is by far the worst element in Skylanders history. It is an unfair statement to make in some regards, though, because there's a far smaller pool of characters to analyse. So there's only 5 Dark Skylanders compared to every other element that has 17. if there was 12 other Dark Skylanders, I'm sure that those other 12 would turn out great. Or at least better than what we have, for the most part. Hoodskill, like I said, he's not only the best Dark Skylander, he's the only Dark Skylander I actually like. Though, I must admit, Starcast has kind of grown on me. After how well he did in Skylanders Imaginators Versus, and after how much alliteration he has been showcasing so far in this playthrough, yes, he is in fact growing on me. Anyway, you folks have got to go. I don't much like your faces, particularly the lack of the face you possess. That is really what's thrown me off. Now, why won't you all just die on me here? Thank you. I'm running low on health, now that's not good. Though in Skylanders Imaginators, you would think 350 health would be fine, but in Imaginators, trust me, 350 health, it is low health. Get him out of here. We're going to destroy that thing for right, because it looks to be funny, no other reason. And also because I can, so if I can, I will. Now, what we need is that frickin' Orby Thingamabob again. Yes, come to me, my frickin' Orby Thingamabob. Let's get that rolling, because they hate it. And now we're going to take a selfie, not of Sarcast, but of that glorious orb, because it looks cool. Like, look at the pattern on that right there. Wait, this is even better yet. I can get a selfie of both the orb and the greatest shoulder pad of all time. And here I was thinking that the selfies we took on those previous episodes, the greatest selfies of all time. Here I was thinking that those were the greatest selfies of all time, but I could be more wrong. For this was actually the greatest selfie of all time. Anyway, let's get that moved to the right over there. I'm not sure if that is the correct path to take, but it's the path we're going to be taking regardless, because I feel like it. Oh, that's a launcher, I see, because I love the pinball game so much back in Trap Team that I just couldn't wait to play them again. Sweet, we got it launched, we got the treasure too. And now we've built ourselves a bridge. How fancy, don't mind if we do. That's a good looking bridge, actually. Can we jump back after we've jumped on the bridge? Yes, we can. Oh, and that guy's just kind of going to walk into the orb right there, and the magic gold puck is going to somehow avoid getting bowled over by the orb. But it's going to leave behind some food, and we are definitely okay with that. Okay, so let's grab the treasure over here. Why not, right? If it's there, we may as well grab it. I mean, Starcast isn't quite maxed out on treasure just yet. Get that orb into place. Yes, sir. Now what we've got to do here is we've got to backtrack after Nightmare Arena, because there's actually an area to the left for us to worry about. Well, I would if we could, but it appears as though the bridge has mysteriously despawned. Now that is inconvenient, so it looks like we're going to have to come back here a second time before everything that's on the left path. If there was anything important, that is. We might still get all the objectives without it, I'm not sure yet. Anyway, you're not the only one who can turn invisible, sucker! Okay, I really need to take out some more of these fools. We defeated all of the enemies in Nightmare Arena. That is convenient. And now what we've got to do is we've got to grab that chest and then get out of here. So we have ourselves a common piece of brand new aura, the Dark Element aura, as well as a new swashbuckler weapon. They look pretty cool.
This here is a grind rail.
Yes, Max, we know. Now I'm going to skip over all of your unnecessary deep stew, because nobody cares for your unnecessary deep stew. The only best part about deep stew is the fact that we get to press the best button in the game to get rid of it. That's the only good thing that Deep Stew provides us with. Otherwise it is completely unnecessary. That is why we call it unnecessary Deep Stew to begin with. Yes, give me some of that sweet Imaginite. Now if we complete this grind challenge successfully, we'll be that much closer to completing some of the emblems. So yes, that is why there is much importance in completing this successfully. But so far we are indeed so good, and hopefully, and having said that, I didn't just think to myself, but oh my luck, that's exactly what I just did, because I'm very good at thinking myself. It is my greatest talent. If I was ever to be entered into a beauty pageant, not only would I win for my pure beauty, because I am absolutely gorgeous and I know it, but I would also win because my talent would be the greatest talent. Anyway, it's time now for the level to end abruptly. That is after we speak with Max, apparently. Yeah, that's great, but now that we've finished with the grinding rail, how's about, yes, we get the level all completed, like, having missed only a singular treasure chest. So it was indeed the left direction in which we should have been headed, but I'm not sure we would have found all areas if we went to the right, or we would have still found all areas. I'm just completely unsure about anything and everything in that level, because that level is just one that is not familiar to me, because it's not particularly memorable. All of these excuses, so let's just insert every single excuse here, get them all out of the way. So that's a brand new book which we can bring back to the Academy, but first things first, I want to discover what that vault has to offer, as we slowly but surely fall back to the lands of Sky. Here we are, we have a gift from Dr. Crankcase. These chests date back quite a while. We have a Dr. Crankcase hat, as well as a Sensei Shrine. This is some ultimate gear for Smasher Weapon, Tri-Tips Mace, one fine looking mace indeed. So our next one is going to be Chopscotch's axe, effectively, and then this one is going to be a undead set, which we have of course garnered from placing the undead creation crystal onto Portal for the first time. This is a pretty neat set indeed for werewolf set, which has now been complete. We've garnered ourselves a wolf head. It's a little anticlimactic, to be perfectly honest, and you know, I went out of my way to buy an undead creation crystal. I reckon I deserve better. Here we are with some new effects for sci-fi effects. Pretty neat that, but we have some egg rescue to be dealing with next. Some ultimate gear for brawling weapon. Incredible punch. And here I was thinking that my punches were bad. So some common piece, a metal crest, I mind if we do. And then for this right here, we have ourselves some ultimate gear, a new quick shot weapon. Here we go, we finally made it to Crankcase's pistols, which we obviously earned from completing the quick shot shrine as Dr. Crankcase. Here's the Blastron helmet, obviously for placing Blastron on Portal for the first time. And that will be the first time of many, because I very much enjoy playing as Blastron. He is pretty much the dictionary definition of a beast. And Wildstorm is the dictionary definition of a beast in more ways than one. Not only is he absolutely annihilative in combat, but he turns into a literal beast. It is beastly, and I love it. But that being said, we have ourselves a level star. This is obviously from the completion of the air sensing round. We have a hipster head, because, you know, if there's anything I want to make my Imaginators in the image of, it is a hipster. So we have some woodsy legs right here. We have another level star completion point, which is going to give us some common gear, some woody pauldrons. Now we have a gift from Starcast. Is it gonna be? Is it gonna be? Is it gonna be? It is gonna be! It's gonna be the greatest shoulder guards of all time! Let's go! I couldn't be any more excited for an Imaginite piece in the history of, well, ever, which is a long rich history, so that's really says something. It should really emphasise how much I love those shoulder pads. My pure, untamed excitement at the mere sight of being able to deck out my Imaginators with such glorious shoulder gear. And then we have a magic tasset that looks exactly like that of Ingenie, so if we ever did want to recreate Ingenie, we now have the tools to do so. Oh, and we completed the pumpkin set. That's pretty neat. We've gotten ourselves a pumpkin stem. Don't mind if we do. But finally, our final piece, our Hasta la Vistance of the episode, is a stump cannon. That is a really anticlimactic end to that Imaginite vault. But what we're going to do now is we're actually going to discover the tech sensei realm and set up for what is going to be occurring in the next episode, the special one at that. Oh, but first things first, let's see what this guy is going to offer us. Oh, no! No! Get away! Get away! We hate the Rat Kingdom. We hate it so much. We're going to leave that for another day. Obviously, we are going to have to tackle the Rat Kingdom eventually. It has Imaginite pieces that we need to collect. But for now, we're going to avoid it like the plague. A very appropriate term, that, because the rats are what caused the plague in the first place. So yes, we're going to avoid it like the plague indeed. Let's bounce back up. This is where it's going to bring me back to. Oh man, that means I've got to walk all the way over here all over again. Dang it, game. 0 out of 10. Terrible traversal. But that being said and done, enough of me bashing on the game like I'm at IGN. Let's discover the tech sensei realm. Because that, my friends, is what we're going to be dealing with in the next episode. But for now, before we do so, we're going to discover that book, which every single book has the exact same cover for some reason. Like, how are you supposed to be sold on a book when the cover is the same every single time? In fact, how are you supposed to distinguish the books? What if I want to read one book, but I can't find it because it doesn't have a distinguishing cover? So I have to instead read a couple of pages of every other book in its wake to see if I'm actually finding the correct book I'm looking for or not. This is a true problem, and we should devote all the world's resources to it. Forget, all of the important stuff out there. What we should be focusing on is these book covers. I cannot, in good conscience, end off this video without first thanking all of my incredible channel members whose continued support help make these videos possible. Without them, these videos would be near impossible to make, so from the bottom of my heart, I truly appreciate every last one of them. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, there are plenty of options on screen now to explore, and please consider subscribing to keep up to date with all my content. On that note, this video is coming to an end, so thank you so much as always for watching. Until the next video arises, peace!